Monday morning strategies. Turn and talk. This strategy is for engaging students in paired discussions with the purpose of them externalizing their thoughts and ideas regarding a question, problem, topic, etc. The listener must be able to either respond to the speaker or retell what they heard in their own words. Vygotsky's theory of social constructivism argues that knowledge is internalized through an external exchange of cognitive thought. This exchange of thoughts through oral language and listening is a catalyst for new ideas and understanding. Partner talk makes students formulate, verbally express, and collect ideas through the partner exchange of information.
Small group activities. This strategy allows for students to practice skills and explore information as a group. The idea is that students must use academic language to achieve their task and facilitate comprehension. This strategy allows for distributed cognition throughout the group, and learning is achieved when the speakers use academic knowledge to internalize knowledge and establish intersubjectivity through the group. Hutchins' theory of distributed cognition states that knowledge can be distributed across individuals. When students share their ideas, they each have their own perspectives and cognitive contributions that can expand on the ideas, perspectives, and knowledge of others in their group. Intersubjectivity is the theory that when there is shared knowledge, there can be shared understanding. In small group activities, students establish intersubjectivity through the use of the academic language that they all share in the relevant subject content area. By using this common language, the students connect and make meaning.
Scaffolds or supports. These strategies are temporary supports given to an early learner. As the learner advances, the supports are slowly taken away. Scaffolding can come in the form of any sort of aid to achieve a learning goal. Vygotsky's theory of the zone of proximal development states that learners are capable of achieving tasks or skills beyond their independent ability if their learning is supported by an individual more advanced than themselves. Scaffolding allows students the chance to work alongside someone, the instructor or another student, to achieve a learning goal. Scaffolds helps student understanding by giving them supports, yet still letting them think independently. This is the ideal zone for cognitive development.
Quick writes. In this strategy, students are given a prompt and a short period of time to respond with as much information as they can without focusing on style or form. This can be used prior to a lesson as a means of assessing or accessing their prior knowledge, or as an informal assessment of their understanding after a lesson. Piaget's schema theory argues that all of a person's knowledge is sorted into organized groups, different schemata. We use schema to understand information in the various ways that it is presented and used. When we have students do quick writes, the questions posed are meant to prompt them to access every schemata that houses information that is related. This allows for us to see what depth and breadth of knowledge they hold for a particular topic.
Pinball presentations. This strategy involves the entire class participating in a group discussion with the teacher focusing on listening rather than mediating what is said. Students can bounce ideas off each other and debate. The ultimate goal is for students to ask and answer questions so that they are thinking critically about the topic, dealing with misconceptions, and expanding on ideas in the group. Pinball discussion uses the theory of social constructivism to help facilitate high-order thinking. Learners are exposed to their peers' thoughts and ideas and are expected to verbalize their own internal thoughts into presentable concepts. Learners use language to internalize the content.
Ping-pong discussions. The teacher facilitates by asking low-order thinking and high-order thinking questions to either review content or to practice new skills. It is key to allow time for the whole class to really think and consider answers, and then students are randomly called on. Students who particularly need a chance to externalize thoughts should be called on often. Vygotsky's theory of social constructivism argues that we use language to make meaning. Both the thinking time and the practice of randomly calling on students rather than choosing hand raisers allows students the opportunity to deliberately think and access higher levels of talk. When we focus on allowing students the time to develop their internal thoughts through externalization, the speaking initiates the internalization of information. The speaker learns as they speak to make meaning.
Providing choices on assignments involves differentiating homework and schoolwork options for different levels of student proficiency. Differentiating strategies and options are important to every learner. Because all students learn in different ways, it is essential to have variations to each assignment. This strategy appeals to individual students' strengths for demonstrating their understanding. DC and Ryan would argue that providing multiple options for assignments would follow self-determination theory. By allowing students to choose an option that interests them, they become intrinsically motivated to do well. DC and Ryan state that intrinsic motivation produces deeper engagement than extrinsic motivators. Students seek competence and autonomy, which is supported by differentiating instruction as well as assignments.
Morning meetings. By developing a routine of morning activities, we aim to establish a classroom environment that fosters a sense of belonging for each student in the class. Every student participates in class greetings, activities, and has an opportunity to have their voice heard in an open sharing of thoughts, feelings, and personal stories. This strategy is meant to show students that they are valued in the classroom and an important part of both the classroom and school communities. DC and Ryan's self-determination theory argues that students need to feel a sense of autonomy, belonging, and competence in order to be enthusiastic and motivated in their learning. Morning meetings aim to meet the students' need to feel like they belong, with the hope that this will foster their investment in active participation and learning in the classroom.
Specific feedback and instruction on assignments gives students the individual help they need. Correction is a way for students to advance, not a way of detecting everything wrong with an individual piece of writing. Feedback should address fluency, form, and correctness of the paper. None of these skills should be ignored, but focus should be on whichever skill set the specific student is learning, as well as their proficiency level. Dweck's theory of growth mindset states that children develop the most cognitive growth when they believe they can achieve. Students that have the will to learn and the confidence as well as the grit will overcome and learn from failures and succeed in their learning goals. By assessing work while keeping specific strengths and goals of each individual in mind, gives the students constructive feedback in whichever area they are growing rather than focusing on every error in a specific task.